I'm Justin Davis, and this is Drone Camps RC. Today's honest review, we're going to check out the Flywoo Mr. Croc HD Edition. 4 and 6S power options are available. I have the 4S version with DJI Digital and GPS on board. It's Betaflight GPS. The wheelbase is 235 millimeters and replaceable arms, which is nice. And it has the DJI Air module riding up front with a hack also available up to around 1200 milliwatt. Comes stock with around 700 milliwatt transmission. Easily accessible USB-C port on the side. TPU mount in the front there. Side-to-side protection and down bottom, which is really nice. The camera's nice and snug in there. There is the 2mm bottom plate protecting the camera from the bottom, and we have a top mount battery setup, which is really nice. You could probably get up to a 3000 milliamp battery on top of there. XT60 connector, and we have TPU supports for your DJI Air module antennas on the bottom. 50 amp BL Heli 32 ESCs with ESC telemetry. Goku F7 dual option also available, which is super nice. Very smooth flight controller. And also we have M8N GPS in the back. I have used this with iNav before, but now you can update your Betaflight to the latest version, and you can update the firmware on board as well. Flywoo F7 Dual Legacy Edition, the November version is what you need to be able to see DJI OSD display on your goggles, which is truly awesome. Since November, we've been able to see OSD. We have battery telemetry support on there. We have RSSI, latitude, longitude, home arrow, satellite count. We have distance from home point, fly height, all that stuff comes up now in the DJI goggles, which is really nice. This is a big change and what most of us have been waiting for. I would like to see future support for iNav integration for DJI goggles as well, hopefully in the future. To the bottom of the frame, you can see the DJI antenna supports there, the 30x30 mounting point that's accessible, and the 20x20 option there if you choose to go smaller in the future. So it is future proof. 3K carbon fiber, 5mm arms with TPU endpoints on there guarding the edge of your arms, which is nice. Dowel prop Spitfires are the one we're flying today, 5147, and GemFan 5146 props come in the box. You get one set of those as well, and you get the NIN motors, the 2306.5 2450 kV for the 4S option, and we have 6S 2306.5 1750 kV on the 6S option, and a full-size prop nut. Also inside the box you get the manual. Crossfire is on UART2, by the way. S-Bus RX is on UART1, ESC telemetry on UART6, and GPS is on UART4. And I believe on UART5 was the SpeedyBee Bluetooth module, which does support Betaflight from your phone in the field. It's either Android or iOS supported, which is really nice. And this is the manual for the Goku F7. It has a dual option or a single option. I believe mine has the single option. And this is the top, the bottom. The schematic is really nice. It shows me pretty much everything I need here for adding additional elements if I choose to later, and an explanation of what stuff is on the UART 1 through 6, which is nice. S-Bus, Crossfire, Bluetooth, GPS, VTX control, and ESC telemetry right there. And we have a Kevlar battery strap, which is really nice. I've seen these before on previous versions of Flywoo quads, but this one does support up to a 1550 size battery. You might be able to get something as large as a 2200 on there, but these usually don't break, and they have a metal buckle, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and turn on the scale and put Mr. Croc on the scale and see what we have in grams. Just the quad first, we get 428 grams. That's not too bad. Now with a 4S 1300, your standard size battery for 5-inch quad, 594 grams. And the 4S 1550, which is my battery of choice on this quad, getting us up to 605 grams for the total takeoff weight. Adding just a little more weight for a GoPro if you decide to put that on there. But let's go ahead and start the FPV flight test. Let's get up in the air, and right now I'm running one of the 4S 1550s, and you can expect a good cruising flight time of around 4.5 minutes to 5 minutes. The 6S version is going to get you even more flight time, probably up in the 5-minute range plus. If you want to put a little larger battery on here and extend the arms out to a 6-inch or a 7-inch option, you also have that option, which is nice on the Mr. Croc. The first one I ever saw of the Mr. Croc series was the 7-inch version, and at the time I was actually flying the Gep RC Crocodile 7, and I kind of feel like they slightly copied the name on that for that 7-inch. That's kind of where the name maybe came from, but Anyway, that happens in China. It seems they don't have the same type of copyright laws we do, but this is not the same animal as the Croc 7 from Gap RC. Flywoo is offering the 5-inch option for racing or freestyle, which is really nice. You could probably race this one, but I feel like this is more of a long range or a freestyle, a big air freestyle type of quad. If you want to get some super aggressive flying characteristics, go for the 5-inch. If you want a more mild, sort of semi to medium long range, get the 6-inch arms. And if you want to go really far out there with your crossfire module, go ahead and put 7-inch arms on there. That would be pretty nice for any type of a larger battery setup, maybe a 4S 3000 milliamp on top, because it has tons of room on that top bed. It's like a truck bed. So now we're cruising down that familiar site, that little tree farm road that you guys have seen before, and since this is a 5-inch, I can get in there pretty close. And let's talk about the flight characteristics of this quad. The Mr. Croc 5-inch version is really smooth, and I didn't quite realize it, and I had to go back and look at the specs. We're running an F7 here. Even the single processor F7 flies really, really smooth. The Vampire V2 was extremely smooth, and there is a pretty decent power loop coming back a little bit late there, a little bit far out. But it is capable of freestyle, and with the DJI system on board, I can really see those branches. Those ghost branches are not a problem in the winter with DJI Digital. I love it. And even on the roll and snap and the yaw axis, everything is just really smooth. A little bit of float there coming around that corner, which normally on the faster, tighter X-frame style quads, I don't have quite as much float. A little more throttle response. 2450 kV motors are pretty snappy though. That's partially due to my flying, my lack of skill in turning on a dime when it comes to a gate style turn, which a lot of racers are really good at. They get back on the throttle. But I feel like, I mean, just look at the footage for yourself. We have zero vibes in any of this air module recording right here, and you can tell how smooth this quad really is just by looking at the video. It is an extremely smooth quad, and on this second battery I wanted to show you guys just how smooth this quad actually is. Just fly out there a little bit, since I do have a crossfire receiver and I have return to home. We have low battery return to home setup. I have switch return to home and loss of signal return to home. So pretty much all the bells and whistles for safety on here. And also, in a complete failure, it will drop to the ground, which is also a good fail-safe. You can also put an external beeper on these. If you're going to fly medium to long range, you're going to do some mountain flying, I would absolutely suggest picking up, I believe Full Speed makes one of the standalone beepers. They have their own little battery on board. Once you unplug the quad, you will have to push the button to get it to stop beeping after a few seconds. And again, cruising down this road, getting in there nice and low, since I have a 5-inch frame. Just one of the best flying, smoothest quads I've flown in a long time, in direct competition with my guys over at Gap RC. Again, Flywoo is really putting some strong releases out there. The Vampire 2 is just an amazing release with HD or analog versions. You can also get a kit of the Mr. Croc. You can build this up to your own spec. You can make it a power horse or powerhouse of a sports car, or you can make it a long range cruiser. I actually prefer, and there's the punch out, look at that. That's insane. 2450 kV. Let's go. Let's go, you guys. Really, really smooth back up. Looking at the horizon. A little bit misty today, but I love the DJI camera. And this is without a GoPro. It's completely acceptable to me. It's 1080p at 60 frames per second, and the colors look true to life, which is a really, really big thing with most videographers and freestyle guys. It's what we've been wanting for years, guys. It's finally here at DJI Digital. If you wanted to treat yourself, you buy yourself a Mr. Croc for freestyle. Or just really FPV enjoyment. Pure FPV enjoyment. I absolutely love this quad. It's 5 stars. Absolutely a 5-star quad. Gold or silver versions available, I believe, on this quad. I really like the styling and the overall design of the quad. It stands out from the other quads out there on the market. I also like the addition that they have this long bed up top. This makes it really nice for big batteries. The Kevlar strap is nice. TPU furnishings all the way around make it really solid. Front and back bumpers. I would suggest trying out the Spitfire props as well. And these, you can take these and actually, if you heat them up a little bit, they will bend. I suggest bending them down a little bit to get more clearance from the arms of the quad, because they're not in the perfect position there. They are in a good protection position for crashes, but I would probably bend them down a little bit. That way it gets it away from having interference between the two arms. It's nice they offer the crossfire option and the GPS, but you're gonna have to update that as well. You're gonna have to go, and if you know what you're doing, you can do that. But I love this long body bed. That's great. And I honestly think you can get a 3000 milliamp battery and a GoPro on here as well. Plenty of space there. And no props in the view for guys that are just totally turned off by props in the view. But this is sort of a cinema / freestyle long range type of rig. And I plan on getting the 7-inch arms for mine to upgrade it to a long range cruiser. That's what I'm gonna do with my Mr. Croc. Maybe I'll review that one later. But the Vampire 2, there's the Vampire 2 sitting next to it. What gorgeous quads and releases from Flywoo. Just incredible. Quality, the flying on both of these is amazing. The tune on the Vampire 2 is absolutely awesome. I love it. And the tune on the Flywoo F7 dual or single flight controller works out really well. But I don't know which one is my favorite between these two. They are two different animals though. This one's more of a long range cruiser and the Vampire is more of a racer freestyle. But 2 thumbs up for both of these quads. They're just spectacular. 5 stars and 5 stars for the Mr. Croc and the Vampire. You're safe to buy either one of these. Bind and fly around $360. It's absolutely worth the money. I'm Justin Davis, guys. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.